Hey, it's Rob, and welcome to Axel's Garage. Excuse the wind noise, because we know there's a problem with the camera. We got the little big dummy behind the camera.
You big dummy.
And what we are talking about today is 2000 to 2006, this body style. Whether it's a Suburban, a Yukon, a Tahoe, a Silverado pickup, a Sierra pickup, all these four-wheel drive vehicles, they all have one thing in common, which is a four-wheel drive transfer case that has a chronic issue. And what the issue with that transfer case is, the pump spins on the inside of the transfer case, and as that pump wears over the time, it gets a little wobble in it, but it still works fine as a pump. Problem with that little wobble is it starts to hit the inside of the case, and slowly and slowly and slowly it wears away at the inside of the case and creates a little pinhole. That pinhole lets fluid out, and that fluid starts to drip out, and it never really drips onto the ground. It's just making the transfer case itself wet, and you never really see a stain. And as it gets bigger, more comes out, and you drive it in the rain and stuff like that, and you never see a leak until you start hearing a noise. And we did have an 03 Yukon XL, this is an 03 also, that always had about 30,000 more miles on it than this one. And it's funny because everything that went wrong or that we had to repair on that, 30,000 miles later we were repairing it on this. So in a video 2 years ago, and I had to look it up to see, we had to do the transfer case on the 03 Yukon XL because of that problem. The fluid leaked out, we had no idea it leaked out, and the transfer case got wiped out from the inside out. And I will play a clip, and it's a clip we had 900 and just a little over 900. I'm looking at Steve-O behind the camera, but we had about around 900 subscribers at the time, and we were really gunning for that 1,000 subscribers. And that was about 2 years ago. I'm about 35 pounds less in weight, so I need to go back on my diet because I looked really thin in the video. And but we were really hunting for the 1,000 subscribers, so there was a lot of banter going on. We were a lot of ball breaking going on in the video. But if you just watch this 2 or 3 minutes of the video, you'll see exactly what I mean by that pinhole. What a shitty video. Yeah, shitty video. Give me a thumbs up for the big fail video. And as always, if you like what we're doing here at Axel's Garage, subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. And she's back there all the time. Hold on a second. Hold on, look. These are my two supporters that just make fun of everything I do. Everything. They can't support their husband and father. Support me in what I do. Don't sit there saying, oh, he just yaps and yaps and yaps and yaps and nobody wants to hear it. Thanks a lot. This is going on. Look at the face. There's the face. See the face? See the face? No support whatsoever. None.
That wasn't
Both
me, that was all her.
Both of yous. No support.
It was all her.
He's off his soapbox, folks.
All right, but before we close up, see, thank God that they did that because I forgot something. I wanted to show you exactly how the training fails. So Dave, a little light over here, please. See, Dave likes me. All right, if you look down right on the side of the case, you will see this hole right here in the case. Let me clean some of the grease away. All right, let's see, where's that hole? It's over here, here. There it is. See that little hole that wore? That is not a hole that's supposed to be there. That wore in the side of the case. The pump is right behind this. The pump hits the inside of the case, wears that tiny hole right in there, and the fluid drips out little by little by little over the course of time. Really doesn't make a puddle in the garage, but destroys your transfer case. All right, so I'm back up in the air again. Now, the transfer case, that's how it gets destroyed through that little hole. When they rebuild it, there's a retrofit pump assembly that goes in that does not wear out the side of the transfer case. It's got some guard on it or something like that. But when you get a rebuilt transfer case, you got to make sure that you have the new design pump so that it doesn't wear through your case. This one, if we wanted to get it rebuilt, we'd have to get a whole new back half of the case because this back half of the case is shot because it's got a hole in it. That's what makes it real expensive to get them rebuilt. Now we're done. All right? Everybody happy with me finishing now? Now can I finish the video now? Is it okay? Yeah. Okay. So that's it for the big fail today at Axel's Garage. Everybody good with that? Is it okay that I say it like that?
Cock balls.
All right, yeah. Big fail today at Axel's Garage. If you liked our failure video, give us a thumbs up. And if you like what we're doing here at Axel's Garage, subscribe to our channel. Why are we subscribing? Why? Why are we subscribing? Because we're almost at 1,000 subscribers. And what happens when we hit 1,000?
When you do the sex tape?
What happens when we hit 1,000 subscribers?
Some wonderful surprise video.
Yes, thank you. It's not a sex tape. It's not something, whatever that was.
Coming out of the closet.
We're not coming out of the closet.
You're gonna wear the suit that he wore to Gary's birthday.
I'm not going to wear the suit he wore to Gary's birthday. No. And once we hit 1,000 subscribers here at Axel's Garage, we have a new announcement, and we're very excited about it. My wife is actually very excited about this new announcement. Aren't you excited?
Yes.
We're not having a baby. Workshop is closed. There's no triplets. See, anybody that's ever had twins would never wish triplets on it. So you see in that video, it wore that little hole in there, and that hole was actually big because it was towards the end. But the hole actually starts out, it's a very small pinhole, and that's why you don't have fluid leaking on the ground. Now, about the last month and a half or so, we've been noticing a little bit of a little clank when we accelerate from a stop. And especially if there's cars on either side of us, it sort of echoes off the cars and you hear it. And that little bit of a clank, about the same mileage, about 180,000 is when I went in the other one. I'm thinking it could be the same thing. So what we're going to do now is we're going to see if we can band-aid it. So you need an 18 millimeter socket or open-end wrench. I use an open-end wrench, and then I grab my 17 millimeter open-end wrench. And a lot of people always ask in the comments why I use two all the time, and that's because if you put this on there, you put the box end on the bolt, okay, and you go to grab it and you go to do it, and it's just too tight. What you'll wind up doing is you need a little bit more leverage to torque it off. So what I do is I take the next size, smaller or bigger, and I hook it on like this. So now this one's on the bolt, and this one gives me some additional leverage just to break it loose. And I normally don't do that to tighten it, I just tighten it like normal. But that's why I grabbed two wrenches. That's my own personal little tidbit. But a lot of people do ask in the comments about why I'm always grabbing two wrenches when I'm grabbing wrenches. As far as the fluid that goes in the transfer case, you can't just put any fluid. It's not gear oil, it's not motor oil. It is a specific transfer case fluid for these GM transfer cases, and this covers 2000 to 2006. Could be some earlier ones take the same one, could be some later ones take the same fluid. I don't know, I ain't talking about those, I'm talking about 2000 to 2006. And it's AC Delco, it's called Auto Track 2. Alright, it's a little pricey, and I believe it's around 2 quarts to fill it completely. On the back of the transfer case, we'll show you in a minute, there's an upper bolt, 18 millimeter, and a lower drain, 18 millimeter. If you're going to drain your fluid out and just replace it all, which is probably not a horrible idea to do, especially when you run into the situation that we're running into, make sure that you can crack open your fill plug before you open your drain plug, that it's not seized up on you, so that you don't take all the fluid out and now you have no way of getting fluid back in. Alright, another thing that we use, and you've seen us use this in other videos before, putting gear oil in a differential or anything like that where you got to pump fluid out. This little doohickey here is invaluable, and you can get them at most big box auto parts stores. It's got 2 different threads in the cap so that you could have a small mouth or a wider mouth oil container, and pretty much you just screw it in the top. Right, the fill tube goes all the way down to the bottom, and it's just a plunger, and you pump it up, and you put this in the hole, and you keep pumping until a little bit comes out of the hole, and then you know you're full. Alright, so that's filling the transfer case. Now, if we have that little hole there, what my plan is to clean the area around the hole, and I'm going to use flex glue. I'm going to see if the flex glue, it's a no pressure leak, so there's no pressure in it. We just need to stop the oil from coming out. So I am going to try the flex glue. I've used this on a number of occasions in very unorthodox spots, and it's never failed me, knock wood. So if we need to, we're going to use this flex glue. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go under the truck. If your truck is high enough where you can squeeze your fat body under it, you really don't need to jack it up. In our case, we needed a little bit of lift, so I got a jack under it. I got a jack stand keeping it safe. Yes, we do always use jack stands. There's a lot of people that comment and they don't see the jack stand in the video and they get very concerned that I'm crawling under the truck with just a jack, and that is like a fear of mine is having it fall. I had a empty shell Chevelle body fall on me once while I was under it, and it was up on jack stands, and I was doing some welding and banging on the floor pans on my back, and it slipped off the jack stands, and that's only a couple 100 pounds, and really spread out a couple 100 pounds. So it's something that I was going to get hurt on, but I couldn't get out, and I was in the garage. I was probably about 20 years old back then, yelling for my father, and I'm like, Dad, Dad! And finally he heard me. He came in there, and it was only it was an empty convertible shell of a '67 Chevelle, completely empty, so it only weighed a couple 100 pounds. But we're gonna go under, and I'll show you exactly.
All right, so underneath, I am very surprised to find a completely dry transfer case. So, if you remember in the previous that clip that I played from a previous video from 2 years ago, it's in between these veins here where you get that hole. So, if we had that situation, we would have a very wet transfer case. It would be, wet with oil. So we don't have that problem. So that's good news, sort of. It's good news because our transfer case probably isn't failing. I'm hoping that noise that we heard isn't coming from the transfer case. Now, this case has been out once. About 4 years ago, it was removed when the transmission was rebuilt. So they should have made sure it was filled with fluid when they took it out. So what we'll do is, here is... down here, can you see this one, Siva?
Yeah, I got it.
All right, this one down here is your drain. So if you're going to drain your fluid and do a fluid change, right, here's your drain. It's an 18 millimeter, and here's your fill, and that is also an 18 millimeter. So now on the fill, when you jack the car up, you just want to keep it fairly level. It's not rocket science or anything, so you don't have to go overboard with having it level. I got the 18. No, I got 17 in my hand. A millimeter too small. All right, so 18 millimeter, they shouldn't be crazy tight in here, and they're not. All right, it's a pipe style plug, so the threads are bigger as it goes farther back on the shank, and that's what makes the seal. It's an aluminum case, soft metal. They usually seal up nice and don't leak bad. All right, so once you break it loose, you should be able to turn it by hand. Alright, and then just pull it out, and I got fluid dripping as soon as I pulled it out. So I know I'm full, completely full. I don't even need to add any, so I'm going to screw it back in. Did that show? The fluid coming out?
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm going to...
You should have been able to see it.
I'm going to screw it back in because we know that it's completely full, and I'm going to try to wipe up as much excess as I can, and I am going to get my 18 millimeter and just make it nice and snug like you would an oil drain plug. Don't go crazy on it. You don't want to strip it out. You don't want to put it in too far and potentially crack the shell of the case. Make sure you wipe up any residual that spills, because having a dry transfer case is great, even in an old vehicle that's all drippy underneath and oil leaks and whatever other leaks. But having the transfer case dry is great, because you could just take a look at it and say, okay, I don't have a problem. Just the same way we did. We knew we didn't have a problem as soon as we got under here. And I fully anticipated seeing a little hole up over here and having to clean it and trying that flex glue. So we're good here, and we can go back outside.
All right, we just realized we left the little big dummy's phone up in the chassis, lighting on the transfer case. I said, did I bring your phone out? And he's like, so we got to remember to pull that out of there. But all seriousness, I fully expected to see the disaster that is a chronic problem in these vehicles. When you get your transfer case rebuilt, if you ever get it rebuilt, they have a retrofit pump with a guard so that it doesn't wear through that thing there. But you got to put the Auto Track 2 in. Got that? Mm-hmm. All right. When the '03 Yukon XL was on it, when that transfer case was almost completely on its way out, we had the replacement, and we knew we were going to do the job. I just tried to quiet it down for like a week or two so we could put it off a little bit, and I actually filled it with regular gear oil that you would put in a differential, and the gear oil wiped the transfer case out. Within 2 miles, it was completely locked up. So that does not work. Don't use anything other than the recommended fluid. But I'm happy. I'm happy that it's not the transfer case. So now I could look at maybe a U-joint. It's a kind of a U-jointish noise that the transfer case will make when it's starting to go. The U-joints will make it.
It doesn't sound the same as the other car.
Well, it's not to the bad point. Steven's saying it doesn't sound the same as Clanky Clarissa sounded, but I think because we didn't start paying attention to Clanky Clarissa until it was like starting to get bad. But it does sound a little like a U-joint, and these vehicles are known for a little weakness in the rear end when they get a lot of miles on them too. So I think what the next thing we'll do is, I only had about 3/4 of a quart of this left, so I was just looking to top it off, seal up that leak if we had one and top it off. We didn't need to top it off because it was full, but I think what I'll do is I'll get another 2 quarts of this and we'll do a fluid change on the transfer case because it's never been done before. And it does have 180,000 miles on it, and then maybe we'll do the U-joints and see if that kind of does it. The U-joints are very, very interesting in these vehicles. Same thing, 2000 to 2006, the pickups, the Suburbans, the Tahoes, they are kind of strange to do, and if you like popping zits, you'll love doing the U-joints on these, and we'll do a video on that as well. And I'm going to do that fluid change. I'll get some more fluid in, and we'll do that, and we'll make a video for that too. Let me know if you've had this problem, and add a comment. Give me a thumbs up. Feed that new YouTube algorithm. Drop a comment. Comments are great. They do a lot for the channel. Like I said, when we did the first transfer case video, we were at 900 and change subscribers, and now we're at 9,300, I think. So we've really come a long way in 2 years. I gained a lot of weight in 2 years, and we had a lot of fun doing these videos and bringing you into the craziness that is Axel's Garage, whether it's in the house, outside the house with the big dummies, and even my wife driving everybody crazy. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Again, hit that thumbs up button, and as always, thanks for watching.